Ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, and acquaintances, viewers, welcome to my live show. Welcome to Unfiltered. I'm your host, Chaps McFarlane. This is a show about the extraordinary achievements, journey, and extraordinary things that many of my guests have been doing in their lives. We are going to be discussing and exploring some of these achievements that have informed their worldview, and we are going to get some perspective based on their worldview on a lot of social issues, political issues, economic issues, whatever issues are there of the day, we are going to explore with the guests that come on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the show today has a guest, Mr. Ugo Okeke. Mr. Ugo Okeke, welcome. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine, man. How are you? It's been a while.
It's been a while. I know I ran into you in the summer, which was nice, but
yes.
Summer has been at least, I can't remember.
It was 10 years the last time I was in Calgary.
It's crazy how time flies, you know?
Yeah. Yes. So I'm so glad to have you on the show. I want to thank all of our viewers who are joining the show as of now. Please, I would ask you, if you are enjoying the conversation, if you like the conversation, share the video link, share so that others can join and also benefit from the conversation. That is the way we are going to get a following. And invite your friends and other people who you think might be interested in these conversations to join us as we continue here at Unfiltered. Thank you again for coming, Mr. Ugo. Let's get right to the business of the day. So can you tell our viewers what motivates and inspires you to chase your dreams?
I think some of these things are born with these kind of things, you know. But I always go back to backgrounds, you know. It's a lot of this hunger is how you will structure the environment you grew up in, you know.
Right.
Sometimes, we always have, maybe as a kid growing up, you have kids that are doing better. Maybe you feel, the perception that their parents are doing better. Whether they're doing better or not, it doesn't matter. You just, as a kid, you want to be like certain people, you know.
Yes.
So to show that some people dress a lot nicer, you want to be like them at one point, but you realize that your mom is different from them, and your dad, you want to, one day be like this. Your inspiration comes from so many subtle ways, right? You don't really see it, but as you grow up, these things form so strongly, and
Right. So do you have any particular individuals that say inspired? Let's talk about, say you getting into fitness. Was there any particular inspiration?
It made me get into fitness. It's interesting because me getting into fitness today, people that know me with fitness, it's a different world. The world has changed since 2010. It's a different world. When we grew up, I've been into fitness, but for me, it was never into about how you look, or I've always wanted to be strong. When I was young, I always, mentally, I always wanted to go to the military. That's all I wanted to do.
Right.
When it comes to strong, I have one of my uncle that in my family we have genetically strong people. We're not really that big, but my uncle used to break a nail with a hand. He would bet money on people, and he would bend it until the nail breaks. It was crazy.
Right.
He was such a strong guy, and everybody feared him, and a very nice guy too, but if he gets mad, it's you won't really. I never actually seen him fight, but nobody wants his trouble,
Right.
I always want to be that strong, and I'm like, how do I be stronger than my uncle? I wanted to run into a wall and come on the other side, I was a concrete wall. How we grew up, because as a kid, this is how my head is always bent on, right?
Right.
And when I came to Canada, I didn't really know my dad. I met my dad, I think the second time. But when I first met him, I was in boarding school. I was 15. And, it was just a brief meet. First time I met him in my whole life, and, when I met him on the, it was 1998 is when I came. So you know, we didn't really get along that. My dad is very mentally strong man too, you know, like very strong-willed. I'm almost exactly like him. So, there's a cry, that's there right away. There's a lot of unanswered question, and that don't matter to him. But for me, so, usually I go to school and I spend so much time in the gym,
Right.
I stay in the gym just to pass time because I don't really know this man. He's always working too, I don't know much people. I just spend it. Well, I used to spend like 8 hours in the gym, just 8 hours every day. You remember,
Yes.
I'm on Royal. You really started at Royal College,
Right, right. We're going to actually talk about that. But just to sort of situate the conversation a little bit, what do you tell your clients about fitness and being healthy, when they come to you? For example, we've just had the Christmas festivities and the New Year's. So going into these festive seasons, what do you usually tell your clients about, their fitness, healthiness, lifestyle plans?
My message is usually very, straight and simple, and it's very steady. My message about fitness is the lifestyle. There's no two words about it. We have to get away from the short-sightedness of, just focusing on so much on aesthetics. I want to go to Cuba and I want to look this way, then I come back, then I don't care. It's a lifestyle. So you have to understand your body. The way I teach fitness is a lifestyle. It's the air that you breathe. You have to deal with stress. You have to deal with the food you put in your body. Working out is often what we see mostly as fitness. But, on fit mind with fit body is not fitness.
Right.
So everything comes in play. Stress is one of the most, stress can cause any kind of disease, as you can understand. It can, So I focus on a holistic approach to fitness. Often I don't work so well with a lot of people sometimes because I would hate for you to pay me and not get a result because I don't know other way.
Right.
And the right way, which I grew up before fitness become a fad and everybody's into fitness.
Right.
You have to be disciplined. You can't make excuses because usually I tell my clients, Donald Trump or whoever the president is, the Pope, they have time. As busy as they have time for fitness. And sometimes, I'm so busy at work. I tell you, if your work make you so busy that you can look after your health, I approach it from health standpoint. You should quit your job. I tell them, they think I'm crazy, but I say you should quit your job. Because I don't know why you're working if you can't take care of yourself, especially if you're working for somebody,
Right,
Because tomorrow, I'll tell them tomorrow, how the economic system and structure is. You get sick tomorrow, they will call you and say, hey, Mark, sorry, we love you here, but, we're going to have to replace you because until when you get better, you can come back. Now you lose your job. But remember the whole time, you don't have time to take care of yourself. Now you get sick. You lose that job. I mean, you're still sick. Then you have to face some pharmaceutical to buy pills and so you really understand the integral part of like what fitness is, balanced approach. You can't make excuses. And you don't have to go to the gym. It's just a matter of find the right way to fit in your lifestyle. But it's the lifestyle. If you eat every day, you should do something.
So is there a difference between being fit and living a healthy lifestyle, or is there none?
I won't really separate them, because how your mind thinks is also what your body do, right? If they're both, like I say, even mental health. You can be so fit, but then you self-destruct, right? Because you're so negative all the time, right? That's really not fitness. Yeah, so you're just focusing on the aesthetic part of it, but then inside, like being stressed out and always like being driven by negative energy, you're not going to be successful, which is eventually going to drive you to being stressed out all the time because things don't work out for you. Then your social environment, people don't really like to hang out with people that's negative,
Right.
If you attract only people that you can hang out, they're always going to be people that negative. So you're not really going to grow in that environment. So you can look so good. That's why often you see people look so well, but their confidence level is so low because they focus so much on their aesthetics and they realize that you can meet somebody that looks so, handsome or so beautiful as a girl, but then you have a conversation with them, people will be like, oh my God, if I meet this girl, I'll just marry her. But you can't even have a conversation with them And people are like, oh, you crazy, how, that girl, you don't like that girl. I'm like, it's not about liking her, it's the, the value, right? What else beyond the looks, right?
Right, right. So tell me this. So Coach Ugo, somebody walks into your gymnasium and they say, look, I want to hire you to be my personal trainer and lifestyle coach. What is the first thing you tell them?
Consultation. I'll probably go through consultation with them, get to know them better, their lifestyle, what kind of food they're eating, if they're sedentary or not, what kind of work they do, what they've been doing, their background, if they play any sports, it's pretty holistic, and this sometimes this consultation, may last about an hour, but it doesn't end there. If I continue working for them, I continue to ask more questions to get more. The more information I can get about them, the better I can address them, So the consultation is very ongoing, even till some clients I'm still with. Pretty much every time I start training somebody, I kind of ask a lot of questions. How was your yesterday? How was your weekend? If it was stressful, if you have a stressful day, we'll have to tell your workout not to be excessively stressful, right? Because it's an everyday thing, right? So it's not, the consultation really done. But at the beginning, I need to know a few backgrounds, what kind of food you eat, how often do you eat every day? How much water do you drink? Do you drink alcohol? If you do, how often? Do you smoke? If you go to the gym, what kind of weight do you do? What kind of workout do you do? How regular are you? These kind of things will give me a better idea of where to get them started. And believe it or not, at the end of the day, I still start people with their body weight, because, at least as an animal, we should be able to move our body to some degree, right?
Right.
So that's kind of a starting point for me.
So, Ugo, you immigrated to Canada from Nigeria when you were 17 years old, right?
That's right.
Tell our viewers about your experiences or your experience moving to Canada.
Man, where do I start?
Anywhere. Start anywhere.
God is a cold country, if you come from Nigeria, God is a very cold country, and obviously, there's a cultural shock. And I was never really being a person that a big follower, right? So me trying to establish my mark and trying to, get to have friends, it was a bit challenging. People trying to understand what you say all the time. You think you're speaking English, but you're speaking something different, man.
Yeah.
What I mean? Yeah, there's a culture shock. I did my grade 12. I redid my grade 12 year, I grew up, in my school was only, I think, about 5 black people in the school, so, which is different too, right? I was one of them, so, I think the culture shock, that I hung out with my dad throughout the whole summer, selling a lot of real estate. So I was more in an environment of business environment, working with my dad. I came in June, then I went back to school in September,
Right.
So I didn't really know nobody until I started going to school, trying to make friends and, eventually, I kind of found my ground and, continue to grow from there, right?
Right.
Even the weather, I used to wear a big jacket in the summertime.
So let me ask you this. So do you consider yourself an African Canadian, a Nigerian, or both? Because I know you're a Canadian citizen as well, right? So how do you see yourself within those labels that are often used?
I don't really identify myself with label. I'm a global citizen because, the way I look at these things, it kind of get a little bit political for me. Sure, I was born in Nigeria. All this thing has a lot to do with interest, I'm a Canadian citizen, yes. I'm a Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria. I'm never going to forget that root. And I also don't think it should be limited to different countries have different laws, and it gets to politics, because there's interest why they want you to be, you can have dual citizen or you can. But those is a matter of paperwork. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because say if I have $20 million and I want to be a Italian citizen, there's interest in them that, that will improve the economy. They might consider a way to, qualify me to be a citizen,
Right.
And for me, it might be an interest. So for me, this has a lot to do with interest and dynamism of political, than just, hereditary, man, and you can do something, they will decline your citizenship. They can take it away from you if they want to. They reserve the right to, so you don't really make so much call, so you have to play accordingly.
Right.
Except where you were born, they will never reject you. So you can see the side of that, right? No matter what you do,
right.
if you do something wrong, they have to take you back to Nigeria. But as long as you're here, you're gonna have to play within the laws, and so I consider myself a global citizen. But now I'm in Canada. I've been here for 21 years. I don't see myself leaving Canada and going to some other place unless something really interest again, right? Something that's really, really interesting that I feel like is worth it, making that change, right? Yeah, if not just not for the fact I'm in Nigeria, you don't start well.
So you like Canada?
I grew up here. I'm adapted, so I can just put it that way.
Right.
I like a lot of other places too, but I'm adapted.
So let me ask you this: you have spent a considerable amount of your time in Canada, living out west. Specifically, you live in Calgary, right? So what do you make of the last federal election as a Canadian living in Alberta?
Man, it depends on
your general thoughts.
Find out that I'm starting to identify a little more conservatism than liberal, how I grew up,
Right.
However, it depends. There's places I agree with Trudeau. There's places I don't. I personally, I'm a big fan of when it comes to liberal versus conservatism. There's part of liberal that I really identify with. There's part of conservatism I really, really identify with. The right for people to do what they want to do. I feel like, everybody should be led to live accordingly, when it comes to gay rights and all this. I still have questions, but, people should do what they want to do in their bedroom and stuff like that. When it comes to Trudeau, he's not particularly my guy, the type of guy. I also don't think Canada has had a kind of a leader that I feel that's a strong leader. I'm a big fan of a strong leadership, like people that live with resolve. I'm a big fan of a strong military, which Canada don't really have. So a lot of these things often, compromise my feelings and, my perspective about aligning myself particularly. Even the conservatives also don't really address that strong military, strong defense system, especially living around, beside United States. I feel, we should step up our game, militarily, to some degree, it's a real politic. At the end of the day, human beings, human nature is driven by Machiavellianism, so, Trudeau, but I think the best of the two evil, I'll go with Trudeau to some degree.
Right. Okay. So you often talk about how you worked hard to achieve, to achieve your goals. Can you tell us some of the challenges that you've experienced in trying to achieve all of the things that, and we'll be talking about some of your achievements as we go down, but can you tell us some of the challenges that you faced in trying to work hard in this society to come to where you are?
The challenge is always about doing things you don't want to do. You know what you want,
Right.
Every day, it never stops really, and the challenges is continuous. It's continuous. I have more challenges today than I ever had. I'm telling you, and it doesn't get easier. You just have to get stronger. I think throughout the challenges, how you grew up, and they prepare you for bigger challenges, because it's kind of a resume. You're kind of building a resume. You have a lot of wins, and till where you are today, you can deal with bigger challenges. Because if you haven't won those little challenges, it will be difficult for you to get through the bigger challenges. So I think challenges is always about discipline, resilience, relentlessness. Just keep pushing through all the time. Never taking no for an answer, man. There's no failure, man. There's no failure. Failure is when you quit. And when you quit, you're dead. That's it. You're dead. I'm telling you, man.
Right.
Anytime you quit, you're dead. That's it.
Right. So let's talk about this, because I think this is pretty exciting. So you remember when we first met, you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So tell us about that. You remember we both met at the we both attended Mount Royal College. At the time, it was a college. Now it's a university.
University.
In fact, it actually transformed into a university while we were
while we were there.
While we were there, yeah. So what? Talk to our viewers a little bit about that experience of the good old days.
We had a lot of fun in Monroe, man. You know, we had a lot of fun, man. That's actually where my fitness. I think that's where my fitness career really started. Without me knowing that eventually I'm going to end up in fitness. You know.
Right, because you were doing political science and philosophy.
I was actually doing philosophy initially.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah, my first degree was in philosophy. I was trying to get it, but I don't have the degree. But I was doing policy studies. You know, most of my courses was philosophy. And, you know, my dad, you know, I always wanted to be a lawyer. My dad, you know, is like, oh, you should do politics. And my dad is obsessed with Bill Clinton, you know. They're trying to line me with Bill Clinton.
Most of our dads that generation are obsessed with Bill Clinton,
yeah,
right?
You know, I should do political science. And, you know, me, I've always been a rebel in the sense that he never dealt for me. I don't know this man that kind of way. So he's telling me what the hell to do, you know.
Right.
You know, I remember him having that conversation. I was at Monroe. I was in my car having a conversation, a big argument with me and my dad. Usually I don't argue with him, you know. But he come across some kind of way authoritatively. So I had to, you know, tell him that this is me doing it, and that at the end of the day, I'm the one paying my school fees too. So, you know, after that, you know, I still listen to some of the things he said, you know, even though, like, you know. So what I did was I went back the next semester. So you know, as I was picking philosophy, I was looking at political science courses. You know, you look at courses, read the precepts, see what is addressing, and I came across political philosophy. I'm like, okay, they have some philosophy in it, and it has political in it.
Right.
You know, so I kind of read through it, and it talks about the philosophies that I know, like social contract, Plato, Aristotle, you know, Hobbes. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Is everybody are studying philosophy, but you know, you base. So, you know, it's kind of a marriage. So then I took that particular course and it changed my life. The book, particularly The Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes, it was a big impact. It was a massive impact on me and on how I view the world today. Yeah, especially particularly social contract. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you saying you have a very Hobbesian view of the world?
Not necessarily, but you know, to some degree, I like to understand it objectively and observe. You know, I won't say I'm very proactively Hobbesian, but I believe a lot of things that you spoke. You know, today we tend to play within diplomatical windows, so we don't, you know, offend a lot of people because people get easily offended today. You know, but I believe that human nature is really driven to some degree that way. You know.
Right.
If human beings are pushed in the way they really had to survive, I believe they will be brutal to some degree. Not because they want to, because the instinct will, you know, it's like a lion trying to, you know, protect their kids and stuff. They will take their posture.
A very true Hobbesian. So let me ask you this. Let's talk a little bit about this. Tell us. I know that apart from school where we met, I also knew you at the time as somebody who was very interested in business and entrepreneurship. And you've talked about how you and your father was into real estate. And I remember during our time out in Calgary, you used to be very occupied doing some work around real estate. So tell us about some of the business ventures that you engaged in up to coming to this time where you started to focus on your fitness and lifestyle coaching.
Man, I've done a lot of business in my life. Where do I start?
Tell us as many as you can.
Also, you know, I did my real estate license. Actually, I think the same summer that I came, 2 months into Canada, I did my real estate course. I was 17. And I had to wait till 18 to get licensed, but then my dad ended up not pushing me to license. I don't really know much, you know, about licensing. He has to do everything because I was very new in Canada. So I work with him, I knock doors, you know, like, so I kind of learn, I understand real estate, like literally my 3rd month in Canada. I did a whole course. It's used to call Real Estate 1000. You know, I did it at my Royal College location downtown. You know, worked with my dad to some degree, you know, for a couple years on and off. You know, we have our clashes because, you know, we're still trying to get to know each other. And, you know, he's a very disciplined man. He pushing me, you know, the way he feel like, but we don't really have that chemistry to work together in that way. You know, but You know, after that, I think I got kicked out after a year living with my dad, you know, and, you know, man, what did I started my ice cream company. I was selling ice cream. I was driving in a little scooter, you know, selling ice cream. You know, I branched into, you know, like, you know, I grew up in the street a little bit. You know, there's you know what I mean? We'll talk about that when we get to that. You know, I met some friends that were very nice to me, took care of me like family, literally, even to today. You know, we dabble into different kind of things, you know, growing up. I ended up investing in real estate also myself, but real estate never left my view because I know so much about it and it's so much around me. Like it's just my dad's picture is in everywhere. Everywhere I go, say my name, they know my dad is on the TV. The flyers everywhere is the same name. I have the same name. And I bought my first real estate in 2003, you know, through my dad. Even though we didn't get along, we still get along to some degree, you know. And we still, you know, we're able to, you know, play a little bit of symbioticism, you know.
As business people.
Yeah, you know, to some degree, I mean, he didn't consider me a businessman, but you know, whatever. But I know he liked his commission when time comes, you know what I'm saying? Right. You know, so I ended up opening a shoe store.
I remember,
Italian shoe store boutique. I was going to Italy importing shoes, purses, and accessories. I was obsessed with shoes, female shoes mostly. It would be about 80%, 80% women stuff, and the other merchandise is 20%. Man, it was a downtown Calgary. It was about 2006. You know, I made some real estate move. I got some money. You know, then, you know, just ventured into that. Didn't do my research as I was supposed to do. You know, first lesson learned. You know, and you know, we picked a location where we thought it was gonna boom because there was a boom then. And before we know it, 2008 came and crashed everything.
That's when I came to Calgary in 2006, right? And there was the boom.
And I went back to school.
Yes.
Yeah, I went back to school. I lost some real estate investment too. I lost a lot of money, you know. Went back. I didn't want to. I've always been careful about stress, you know, because my mom stressed out so much growing up about, you know, things that I never really see that stress solve any problem, you know. So I've always been, you know, careful about stressing myself out about the situation. My approach to life has always been that material things, I make them, they don't make me.
Right.
I think it's a strength to be able to let everything go. You know, you're a very dangerous person where you can let everything go. You know, you feel me? Yeah. Right. So I always kept that mindset. You know, I lost so much money in fact, Mark, I lost so much money that I didn't even go back to the store.
Wow.
Yeah, I traveled to Nigeria and I came back. The economy was terrible. You know, like I was paying people out. I went back to school and they're calling me every moment to come deal with this. I don't want that stress. I don't want to sit in the store. I never opened it to sit in there. I am not the kind that sit down one place, you know. And man, I sent my friend to go move everything from the store. I didn't even go back to the store. I just called it a loss. And I moved on, you know. I went back to school, you know, then pursue my political science degree. I actually ended up getting my political science before I got, you know, my philosophy, even though I did most of the courses. Really philosophy degree.
So another thing that I don't know if it's before, as you say, fitness is a lifestyle. Another thing that you're passionate about, it's combat sport. So you practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah. So I boxed before then too. I boxed 2001.
So you were a boxer?
Yeah, I boxed. I had my background, my first combat sport was boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the transition, how you started out as boxer and then transition into a practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You know, boxing was a way for me to also get away, you know, like, you know, I've always been a big admirer of Mike Tyson.
Right.
You know, he's always been my man, he's still my man, you know. You know, just always, you know, honestly, all of those things, even training those times, spending so much time in gyms, they were me trying to adapt to this, you know, the culture, you know, and given that my dad is always working, you know, the man has so much real estate, he's never home. Like I almost never had dinner with my dad. I can't remember one, you know. Except he has some clients coming. He's almost like a business setting as well, you know. So usually I'm by myself. So after school, I have to do something, keep myself busy. I have a lot of energy. Then, you know, I will play soccer. We play a lot of soccer then, you know.
Right.
Started boxing with an Impact Boxing Club, you know. Then he doesn't have a location. We'll go to the stairs and we'll run, you know. I just box and lift weight, have some weight in my house, always have weight at my house, you know. And I end up after 2001. I feel like I'm hard enough in Canada. I moved to US. Yeah, I moved to California. Then from there, I moved back to Minnesota, just as a friend, trying to kind of find my ground where I want to, you know, because it was cold here too, man. Calgary was very small then as well, you know.
Right.
You know, I didn't really stay too long in US, and I came back to Canada. Then, you know, mostly lifting weight again, but not much into boxing. And then one of my very good friends today that I ran into then, he was a black belt in Taekwondo. So when I was selling my ice cream, I ran into him and he was talking, you know, like I see him throwing some cakes. I tell him I box, you know, say, yeah, we should get together and, you know, box, because he boxed too, you know. So it's me and him kind of connected. We end up owning a lot of business together too. We became best friends for life. You know, from there, he introduced me to Jiu-Jitsu as well. Yeah, that's actually how I ended up, because he was into martial art, you know. But now I said, the first that I did Jiu-Jitsu, it was such a because I was a very strong guy, but man, little guys play with me in the gym. It was the hardest thing I ever did. I love the challenges. You know, we would drive to Jiu-Jitsu class then. We were so tired from the day before. You literally feel like you got hit by a car. But I would drive to the gym. We don't want to get out of the car and go inside, because we know what we're facing when we go inside.
Right.
It was no joke there. So at some point we'll have to go in there and we deal with it. So, you know, I never really stopped. It's been 12 years.
So tell us about the story of how you got a blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu.
I got a blue belt. I got a blue belt in the tournament, you know, that it was at Bonnes, and there's something called absolute in Jiu-Jitsu, right? Some Jiu-Jitsu, some matches are about 5 minutes long. They go by points. Some are by submission. But absolute depends how they're structured. The way they structure this absolute is like anybody can enter, any belt level can enter, because it wasn't a big competition, but any belt level can enter. It's voluntarily. There's a prize of $200 to be won. I've already had 4 fights that day, and I won all the 4. And the last fight will be the absolute. Whoever wants to enter can register and enter, you know, but it's $200 to be won. Man, by then, I can't even hold my wrist is so, and everything, my fingertips I can't feel them no more. But hey, I've been warmed up. So, you know, I entered, obviously. I was a white belt, and there's a guy that I fought, the first guy, you know, made it to the second round. And this guy, I had to fight this guy. I didn't know he was a black belt because he wasn't wearing a black belt. So wow. Apparently what had happened was, it was his gym. It was his home gym. It was a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu and black belt in Judo. So he had came and kind of feel like the field was to his advantage and entered the contest. He didn't have his belt. He didn't prepare to actually, he came to watch. So he entered into the contest, but I think that was his first fight that night, or maybe his second one. You know, so I didn't know until I started rolling. But my coach kept talking to me on the side, he tells me what to do. I keep following. You know, usually when you're fighting, you know, you can follow, but you can't follow. But this guy's a white belt, but you know, I'm pretty strong, but I can control this guy, man. I try everything I do, this guy can. Man, his level of advancement was crazy. Like, man, I was already tired. You know, my coach I keep hearing he's a black belt. Make sure the first time, I'll never forget, the first time I actually listened to every step, what the coach is telling me, because I have nothing else to give. You know, right. So I have to listen to everything coach is telling me to do. That's the only way I was able to. And the fight lasted for 8 minutes and 3 seconds. So, you know, I was on top for pretty much about 80% of the time. A lot of time I got him, think I was going to choke him out, he would defend. And man, I was praying, please, I don't want to go on my back. Because if I can't beat this guy when I'm on top, what am I going to do when I'm on my back?
Right, right.
You know, it was funny because, you know, Jiu-Jitsu is kind of a chess game. You know, you keep playing, you know, sometimes. And man, I think towards about 7 minutes, the guy, he flipped me some kind of way. I ended up on my back, you know. I was trying to move out of the mat. So they can, you know, give us a break and bring us back in because I was tired, you know. The coach let us keep going. So, you know, I have to use my brain. I kind of thought about it, kind of relax a little bit, stop acting like I'm more tired now. And he also tired, you know, because it's 8 minutes. It's a long time in Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
And he also kind of, you know, fall into that, like relax a little bit. I flipped him. I exploded and I flipped him and, you know, then he tapped. Yeah. So I actually didn't submit him, but it's a submission because if you tap, you're giving up, right? And, you know, like, you know, like it was, I didn't know it was even after I beat him, this is when I found out that it was a black belt, you know, which also worked in my advantage in a way because, you know, the mind is funny. If I know it was a black belt, you know, I may have, you know, think some kind of different, right?
Right,
and,
right.
The same day, my coach awarded me a blue belt. So, it was, you know, it was amazing.
So do you still compete in are you hoping to, are you working towards
I did
a black
competition
belt?
last year. I did competition last year, and I'll do some this year. You know,
Okay.
if everything works out, you know, sometimes timing and if it's the right place and right time, you know, sometimes I'm busy with other stuff too, right?
Right. So tell us a little bit about getting into the, yes, we've talked about you getting into fitness, but tell us about getting into the actual bodybuilding or, you know, competitions and contests.
Yeah,
and what drew you into that?
You know, bodybuilding wasn't really my thing like that. But it's funny because everybody knows me about that bodybuilding stuff, you know? Like, I mean, I can do it. I always like to try new things, right? You know, I was, after I graduated, I was supposed to go to law school. I had for admission, but I didn't go because one of the reasons being that growing up without my father, and I have two daughters.
Yes, we're going to be talking about your family.
I never wanted to leave them. It was tough for me, you know, because I wanted to go to UK for law school. Man, I never wanted to leave my kids, and you know, this thing keep playing in my head. I never wanted to be the most successful lawyer, but no relationship with my kids. Just like I don't have one with my dad because my dad is so wealthy and all that kind of stuff, you know, successful in real estate. Everyone knows him, but here we have no relationship really. You know, we do, but it's very, you know, unstable relationship for you know, for the reason that we never, you know, we didn't build a relationship. You didn't know me from a kid, right? So, you know, so I ended up trying to figure out what to do. I have some real estate investments, and you know, I was still dabbling in real estate at this time, you know, about 2013, and you know, I feel like I need to do something different. Like, what would I want to do? I asked myself, what would I want to do? Wake up and go do every day. Don't feel like it's a work. I'm like, you know, let me get a job in the gym, you know. So I went to Good Life, you know, got a job at Good Life as a personal trainer, you know, and I feel like maybe if I do a bodybuilding competition, maybe that will help me, you know, maybe tap into that clientele of, you know, fitness competitors. And I reached out to one of my friends that I went to school with. I'm a lawyer too, Omar. You know, when he used to work out sometimes, you know, so he had competed before, and I, you know, asked him quick questions, and you know, he didn't really. He's busy too, you know. He's not something he just, you know, threw at people that way. And I ended up just showing up to the competition without any prep, no posing. I just showed up. I registered and just showed up. You know, yeah, I just showed up. It was hilarious, man. Yeah, I was on the stage, and these guys are coming out posing, and man, I was watching my competitors. I was like, you know, I lost myself in the stage. I was like, what am I gonna do? Even before my turn to pose, I have no idea what to do. Right. I was there, you know. I placed fourth. You know, funny enough, I placed fourth, and I'm like, wow, if I didn't try anything and I placed fourth, I mean, maybe I should give it a try. But then after that competition was in May, and man, I just went back to work. I didn't really put much effort to it. And I was just waiting for a client, and this guy, Dwayne, he's one of the judges. He saw me, he came from my back, you know, he said, hey, man, you have a nice physique. I'm like, yo, thank you. He's like, oh, man, you should compete, man. I'm like, yeah, I tried that stuff. And I showed up, and, you know, I don't know if I know how to pose and all that kind of stuff. He's like, I'll teach you how to pose. He's like, oh, that was you. You were the guy that just came, and, you know, because what happened in the show is like, usually come on the stage in the morning.
Right.
And he come back in the evening time. I came in the morning, finished, packed my stuff on the way out. You know, because I wasn't really trying to win anything. I was just trying to feel it out, you know, see what's up, what's this all about, right?
Right.
The first competition I've been to is the one I attended. I never actually seen these people on this TV, anything. So I just showed up blindly, don't know nothing about competition, just showed up like I'm registered. That's all I know.
And you placed fourth.
I placed fourth. So, you know, I was leaving and people were like, some of the competitors ran after me, say, oh no, don't go nowhere. You have to go back on the stage again. I'm like, really? Man, I'm hungry, man. I want to go eat. So I came back, you know, ended up placing fourth. So, however, these guys saw me like it's around November, 2 weeks before the competition. Because when you register, you have like, you can compete in May and there's another competition in fall. You can do 2 competitions because your membership is good for the year, right?
Right.
So he's like, I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? If you coach me how to pose here, why not? I'll do it. I have a membership already, so I don't have to pay anymore. All I have to do is just get ready and go. You know, so I got ready. He walked me through, posed me and everything. And I went there. I won everything. I won literally everything, you know. Like my trophies are all over here. It's just,
So tell us a little bit about because in 2014 you won the National Natural Physique and Athletics Association trophy.
NPAA. That was the NPAA 2014.
Right.
That's when I the first one I tried and I tried again. Then I came first in Open is people that haven't competed before.
Right.
No, actually came first in novice because I did Open because I already did I did one in earlier in the year. So I came first in Open, then got one overall. So you know, weight categories, you know, you win in your weight category, they have to compare against all the first places. Then I compare against all the first places in all the categories. I placed first. Then I have to compete with the pros at nighttime. It was 11
right.
p.m. I compete with the pros and I won overall as well, right? So now I can go to US and compete and stuff like that. And then, you know, after that, you know, like that coach, Dwayne is like, oh, you know, there's another one that's the bigger guys and, you know, you should give it a try. Like, you know, okay. You know, like.
Is that the World Natural Bodybuilding Federation competition?
WNBF, that's right.
Yeah, because that's the one that you have. If we went to their side and you had you gave an interview with them after you won that competition.
Exactly, that's the one.
And you also are currently, you said you are at the pro elite status with the federation.
Yeah.
So are you planning on competing again, or what's the deal?
You know, I did something 2 years ago. Randomly as well, you know, I do things randomly, man. I'm not sure what's wrong with me, but I have intention of doing something this year. I'm not quite settled yet, but you know, the thing with me, like I always train well and I'm always kind of ready for it. But if I have to do something this time, it has to be just based on marketing. I'm trying to, you know, do a lot of marketing with, you know, kind of, I'm learning a lot more about social media, how to use it more effectively.
Right.
You know, kind of show the process of me getting ready, the challenges involved in it, you know, and kind of market myself that way as well. And I won't really focus so much on first place and second place because sometimes I don't like depleting myself too much. So my goal this time, if I have to do a competition, I would like to be kind of my size on stage.
Right.
And just stay as lean as I can without, you know, putting myself through drastic measures, you know, excessive dieting and stuff like that, you know,
So let me ask you this. How do you manage your own personal fitness routine separate and apart from, say, the routine of your clients?
You know, training, I've been training for 21 years, so, you know, I've learned a lot, and it's really easy to tailor, you know, individualize people's training, right? Even if you tell me what you want to do now, I know where I can get you started right away. I mean, one is like that's where consultation comes. Yeah, because I once I ask you those questions, I can know where you know give you things to start. If it's too easy, then you know we can progress to certain things. You know, maybe get you do 20. If you do 135 on the bench for 10 reps, maybe I can get you do 20 push-ups for me. I'm always a believer that you have to master your body weight before you start going lifting all kind of weight. If you can do 20 push-ups, I don't see a reason why you're doing in the bench, you know.
Right.
because at the end of the day, you know, you can get a lot of exercises on a push-up than you can just do on a bench. So it's stuff like that. It depends on your body type, you know, your goal, and all that stuff. You know, I know my goals. So usually when I run to me, like, oh my God, you're gonna kill me. I'm like, you don't do my workout because my goals is different from your goal.
Oh.
Yeah. So it has a lot to do with your goal and time frame. Time frame is also, you know, sometimes it can be manipulated because sometimes people are like, oh, can I get 6 pack in 4 months? You may not. It depends on where you are. It depends on your background. Maybe if you're somebody that, you know, been training for a long time, maybe you can. But, you know, can you maintain it going forward is another thing, right? So it also depends on the time frame. And sometimes the time frame people have in mind is not consistent with the work, the period that needs to be done, right? And the thing also with training is like, you know, a lot of trainers will put you through drastic stuff. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of building a system, having a habit. You slowly building a habit so that when you master this habit, you can understand how your body works. If you're busy, if you travel, you know what to do to stay fit until you get back to your base and you start working out as you know. So I'm not a big fan of it because I can make you do all this crazy stuff and get 6 packs, but when you leave, you can't do them. You can't repeat them. You can't push yourself that kind of way. So I want to teach you the way to understand how your body works, where's your strength, so you can always, no matter what, you can always start from your strength, you know, then, you know, start getting that confidence and start pushing your weaknesses, right? Right. And also, it has a lot to do with lifestyle. It still goes back to that lifestyle system. You have to have a system. You have to know, you know, if you work 5 in the morning, maybe you need to go to bed earlier or, you know, XYZ, you know, all that, it depends. It's very individualized, right? Yeah.
So I've seen you share a lot of posts about your meals. Do you develop your own meals to suit the fitness lifestyle, or is there somebody that has inspired you to look at dieting and all of that?
Man, my meal is so personalized. I don't even think anybody eats like me. You know, like I eat so much food. You know, you wouldn't even think I'm into fitness, you know, but the things that it goes back to background. I've never really eaten bad. My mom is a teacher, so we kind of grew up learning to eat vegetable in every meal, you know, all this kind of stuff without us even doing it for fitness-wise, just for health, you know, like.
Right.
My mom, my dad, they're so crazy into vitamin C. We used to have like a whole room just for oranges, you know, that kind of stuff. So I grew up eating a lot of food, eating healthy. Clearly, when I started training, you know, getting into bodybuilding, and I learned more about food, you know, just like kind of narrow down, like, okay, if you want to look certain way, you want to eat certain way. Before I just eat, you know, and I still eat the same way. Honestly, I enjoy meals, and I eat within the range of things I want to be done. I eat quantity, I don't measure my food, and, you know, and I don't really like a lot of junk food. I never grew up eating them, so I don't have the taste for them, you know. Once in a while, you know, but if something's around, I eat anything, you know. But usually when I get back to my base, usually my discipline, it just kicks in. It's automatic for me to just, you know, go grocery shopping every week and cook at home.
So let me ask you this. You had mentioned this earlier. You have 2 beautiful daughters, right? You have two young daughters, and I wanted to ask you, and I'm sure our viewers would be asking the same question, looking at the fact that you are into fitness. You know, you look good, you look in shape, you're also a handsome guy there. So tell us, are you single or what's the situation?
Not at the moment. I'm not single at the moment, you know.
So you're thinking.
Yeah, but we can. We'll see happen. We're not public with this relationship here, you know. But this is the best I can tell you, man.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I'm not single.
So, tell me, how challenging is it to manage, you know, doing all of these different ventures that you're engaged in, and also being a dad, you know, to these 2 daughters. You were talking to me about coaching them in sports and all of these things.
Man, I think it's just passion, man. It's passion. There's nothing like doing what you like to do, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll tell everybody there, man, if you do something you don't like, you better keep looking, man. It's never too late to find what you love. Man, I love being a dad. I think I love being a dad more than anything. I actually feel like I should have a consulting firm about, get people prepped. No, seriously, get people prepped about before having children, because it's a lot of work now, in the sense that it's too much that you can do, but there's a lot of knowledge that we don't have about before becoming a parent. And things like Jiu-Jitsu, like when I look back sometimes, I don't realize how far I used to drive to go to training. I never even thought about distance as being, any issue. And sometimes I don't have gas. I have to find a way to get there, but I always go there just because my passion. I just couldn't let, I just never thought about anything. I don't even think about, can't. Can't is not even my vocabulary. Nothing I believe I can do anything. If something I have no knowledge about, say I can learn it, I'll put enough time in it, I'll learn it if that's my interest. If it's not my interest, I'm not going to do it, not because I can't. If I want to, I will. I'll just give it necessary time that's needed to be done. I'll hire a master or whatever, that needed to learn that particular craft. But I'm so grateful to be a dad. I want more kids too, because, the ones that, man, they're just amazing kids, not because they're just my kids, just that the strategy that I employed worked very, very well. Like I started them from a kid, just leading by example, like doing what I want them to do. I went back to school actually to finish my degree after having my first kid, just so I want to be reading and they're watching me read instead of just say read.
Right. So teaching by example.
Yeah, I put them on the table. They used to be on my table. My first daughter used to be on my table, and I'm reading. I come home, I'm reading, and I have this obsession about things I like. If I like something, it's nothing. I'll leave the UFC library at 12 midnight. I'm back at 6 a.m. And I was doing 8 courses every semester. Like I was just reading. I would read everything. I would IMF. We'll have a meeting. I'll pick all IMF PDF. I'll read everything. It's not even in my curriculum. I'll read International Monetary Fund. I'll read Davos. I'll read everything. World Bank. Just because I realized the kind of strategic power that's involved in politics. So when I was reading, I was teaching my kids. And when they were growing up, they're using all these vocabularies. I'm like, where do you get this word from? It's like, Daddy, you told us. It's so much that they absorb, like you just, it's like a gift that keep on giving, because every day you see them just growing and being so intelligent. You're like, wow, he's working, So,
right.
So my strategy was that I've always been, like even when I had separated with your mom, I made sure that that relationship, that co-parenting is intact. There was no negative energy in it. There was no fighting. There was no grudges on my own side, at least I know. And it worked out phenomenal, even till today. It just we cooperate so amicably, you won't even believe it.
So what do they think about you getting into fitness? Because I've seen them working sometimes out at your gym there with you.
Well, they won't think it. They won't think it because they grow into it.
Right.
I have videos of my daughters doing squats when they were 2 years old. When my daughter was first born, I put my finger on her hand. You know how kids hold your hand?
Right.
And I pull her up. And she came up. Her mom was screaming, say, I'm going to break her rib. Say, I didn't pull her up. She pulled herself up. I have a pull-up bar. I'm talking about when she's months.
Right.
I put her up on a pull-up bar, and I'll hold her, and she will grab it. So they grow up into it. I don't think they had the time to see me doing it. They just absorbed it. They see me. They do it while I'm doing it. Right. As little as they were, they were doing lunges. They were doing everything. Because my daughter was so tall, at the age of 3, she was doing Jiu-Jitsu too. Both of them were doing Jiu-Jitsu. We do pull-ups, we do push-ups. We still even till today, she just made a senior basketball team. And now I'm coaching them basketball, discipline, hard work, consistency, man, it's just impressive. My daughter, she is talking about that background, she reads a lot. She reads hundreds of books every year. It's just, she read more books than I've read. Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah.
So speaking about, about family and all of that, have you taken them back to say, Nigeria, or do you plan to?
No, yeah, and I plan to. Yeah, no,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they will go.
Right.
Yeah, they will go. We'll plan, and we'll have a plan in place to do that.
All right. Now, let me segment into something else, and this is quite interesting. So, as a student of politics and philosophy, what do you make of, the American democracy in the era of the Trump presidency?
Man, I think the Trump presidency is the one. I really appreciate Trump in a lot of ways. I know people trying to kill me when I say this, because it's all about perspective, man. I look at life from the lens of power. They say power corrupts, and power corrupts absolutely. And at the end of the day, if you understand geopolitics and you understand democracy and how it was structured, I think democracy is being under a challenge, which is necessary to test democracy, to see the resilience in democracy. I like to see these things very objective, not because I agree with everything Trump would do, but you have to understand that when it comes to U.S. presidency, which is a model of democracy, U.S. government system, check and balances, he exposed a lot of loopholes that America has, whether Trump was impeached, was Pelosi supposed to turn in the impeachment document, these things were not really specified in the Constitution, right? So it tells you the leverage, interpretation of law has in democracy as well. It tested the both institution, the one that was able to kind of remain really strong is the Justice Department of, even at that, it was still a little shaky because Trump has a whole different style of, ruling. And in fact, he expanded his power to one we've never seen before. And so what I like about Trump presidency in the sense that I always tell people, if you can just observe and learn how human beings can manipulate power if the wrong person gets in power. Because all said and done, we can be upset as we want. We have to be upset at the system, not at Trump. Because the democracy, the way you structure, if the people elect monkey to be a president, you can't blame the monkey. The monkey is the president, he's elected, really elected. And you cannot expect the monkey not to be a monkey. I think Donald Trump presidency is legitimate so much in the sense that he wasn't really fake running for the office. He said everything he was going to do, and people think he was crazy, even when he was running for the election, right? True. He told us he would shoot somebody at 8th Avenue, nobody's going to do nothing.
True.
And they elected him.
Right.
So what do you want to do? That's the law, right? That's democracy. Right. That's what he wants. He said everything he wants to do. He never said in the law, your opinion matters. You can go vote him out if you want to. But hey, if you don't like it, you're going to have to wait, or you're going to have to usurp power, overthrow him some kind of way.
So you're saying that as much as you're saying you don't agree necessarily with everything he does, but that you think that it is good for democracy because it tests the limits, and that is necessary?
Oh, it's more than necessary. It's not. I don't agree with agree with everything Obama did. I'm not a big fan of Obama's foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things I agree with. Honestly, like if I have to vote Trump and Obama, I'll probably vote Trump.
Really?
He's crazy, and I'm a liberal. You remember what I told you? I'm a strong backer of strong military. I'm very much into real politics. I like people that are strong. I like strong leaders. Putin is probably one of my favorite leaders because I do politics in the lens of power. And until people can understand this thing, we can make it, because that's the problem. I think everybody should be involved in politics, because people tend to see politics as this devilish.
As something about politicians, rather than knowing that all of us are part of the politics. Yeah. All of us are part of the polity. We all contribute. Right.
It's a communion. I used to say that, anybody that does not need people in the society, you don't need others, is either you're a god or you're a beast. So as long as whenever there's three people, let's say not two, but whenever there's three people, there's politics involved.
Right. That's very true.
whenever there's three people involved in anything, there is politics involved.
Right.
You play it, you just don't know. You just have to be aware of it because, you know, what you need to understand that you have no control of certain things. And at least you should know what is happening. So if there's your interest that you feel like you may have to circumvent it, you circumvent it before it harms your interest. Whether you like what the leader is doing or not. This is a power structure. There's people that has the opposition that has enough power to politically counter the power, the established power at the time, and they're doing everything to get him out of power. The only thing he can do is vote, or maybe political protest if he's strong enough, to get your word done. But if you don't know what's going on, you can blame Trump all you want, and Trump is going to be there maybe for under 4 years. And you can blame him all you want, but he's going to be there.
So you think he's going to get reelected?
I think Trump will get reelected. I think I almost know that he will get reelected.
Well, we're gonna have to make a bet on that one, and then
sure. You know, Trump has a leverage that no politician has had in their life.
Of course,
because he's very genuine, he's very authentic about himself. We're not talking about morals. When I speak about politics, I don't speak about morals.
That's right.
You know, we're very hypocritical when we talk about politics and they say this and that. Oh, but when it comes to Muslims, we can find it okay, they may be terrorists. It's okay for our military to go to the Middle East and fight. Oh, but it's not okay for Trump to do this XYZ. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just pick where it suits you. It doesn't work that way. If other countries have the power that America has today, they probably do the same thing America do.
So you think, according to you, you think that we should sort of somehow separate politics from morals, and then our politicians might perform better, or that they might be in a position where they can be more genuine?
I think we can encourage. Mark, what you have to look at history of human nature, and you know that it hasn't always worked that way. From Napoleon Bonaparte to Benjamin Disraeli, strategists, from even Julius Caesar. You look, there's a lot of manipulation involving power. Right. You're in a position wherever you are now, even making choices of your guests and stuff. There's a political manipulation that has to go through. You can't really satisfy everybody. Morals, that's right. Morals is very subjective. We came from Africa, and there's a lot of things that
we're going to talk about. We're going to get into that. The next question is about that. So
there's some things you do here that over there you don't do. You're going to jail for 15 years. That's morals. So morals is subjective. Think about morals in this sense. You go to Texas, you do something, they execute you. You go to maybe Atlanta, you do the same thing. You go to jail for 6 months.
Different standards, different places.
I didn't break the law, I observe, and I look at it objectively. I'm not saying it's good to kill everybody, but hey, I'm telling you, like, Trump just strike a solo man. I like that. Not because I hate Iran or anything, it's just because for me, the standpoint of, the kind of politics,
real politics.
I like that gamble. I like him to play that. I like their proactivity. Okay, now it's a big loss for Iran, period. They can before they recover from that, and you put them on the reactionary mode. You don't wait for them to strike you first. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you're a superpower, you must maintain superpower. If you have to cause trouble to maintain power, you have to cause trouble to maintain power. That's how power works.
So you think Iran is going to respond or react?
Whatever Iran can do is very limited because they're not suicidal.
Interesting.
They're not suicidal. Me and you know that. Okay, let's put it this way. I do Jiu-Jitsu, you don't. And I can beat you up no matter what. I bullied you. I can still beat everybody up in your family. Your response is going to be limited because everybody in my family do Jiu-Jitsu. You're not suicidal. You're not trying to die. Unless you're suicidal, you can just come to my house and get killed. You may, maybe I park my car, you go pop my tire because you're mad. You know what I mean? Little shit like that. Iran can do well, play with their proxy, but what they can do to America is very limited. If they do something, crazy, Trump might be forced to do what he doesn't want to do, given that he's going to election season as well. He has to show bravado. That's where politics really come in. Iran response has to be tailored to understanding that he's in a high power mode. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
always project power now because he's about to rerun, right? And so if you play carelessly, hey, Iran see what happened to Iraq. You don't want to go there. We forgot about Iraq already. We forgot it's almost forgotten.
Right. This is I'm sure this is now bringing a lot of discussions about Iraq. But let's transition and talk about this. Also related to what you were talking about. What do you make of the consciousness shift that is happening in Africa right now? Do you even think there is a consciousness shift? And if so, what do you make of it?
I mean, I'm not sure if I understand what you mean by consciousness shift. I mean, I think there's always consciousness, yes, especially given the generation where we are in, there's a lot of access to information. People speak out more in different ways now.
That's what I mean by the shift in consciousness, because as you have said, traditionally, we grew up, we were raised, or as the culture would have it, to always look up to elders. We grew up in a very hierarchical society, so that's why I'm asking now. It seems as if there are more people, who feel empowered to question, to explore, different ideas and are open in consciousness. So what do you make of that?
I think when I look at Africa, I like to, there's no simple questions for these things. What I can give you is my approach to these things, right? Our approach to these dynamisms. We have to look at it as civilizations. I look at these political civilizations. Africa, we have our own civilizations. We have the Tuareg, we have the Yorubas, which are Asian civilizations. There's a lot of the Fulanis. They have the system of governance and everything. A lot of them have been eroded by Western, cultural invasion. The way it's happened. That's how culture happens. And we now trying to model ourselves according to the Westerners, which is American, which is like, Americanization of the world is what I used to call it. Like,
Right.
We can use the term globalization as well. Sure, these gadgets and the smartphones, the internet come through. The level of our now we can, let me go back to American institution again. See, the challenge is the democracy is going there. And this is what we're trying to master. They haven't really mastered this democracy. They found themselves in a serious challenges right now. And so when we judge ourselves as African, because you can hear we African, we're very negative sometimes about how we talk about back home. We tend to compare back home with America. You don't dare do that. America's 300 civilization. They haven't figured it out. And this is their original, their instinctive civilization. They didn't copy civilization. That's their Eurocentric civilization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now we Africans, we hold different situation. We can still remember when they used to do some, hidden type of stuff, and we think we're gonna master this just overnight. We still have a lot of illiterates that didn't even grow up understanding what politics is. Even a lot of us that went to school, substandard schools, like the level of your understanding of what's going on is different. So I think we're going to grow with time to get to where we is relative where we are. Everywhere we are is always, and the Americans is also going to keep growing, or maybe start to some degree, but the challenge is also going to be something that's going to, stimulate their growth. So right. I think the consciousness is happening. I think Africa will make a big change because there's become a lot of us that been exposed. There's difference between being exposed and just being educated, because a lot of us are not exposed. A lot of leaders, they do went to school, but they're not really exposed in the sense that they feel that just having money is everything. In this society, people still care about legacy. Over there, people don't really care about legacy. People will do anything to just stay in power, and you know what I'm saying? So, right. I think the consciousness is there. It depends on individual states in Africa. Places like, the dynamism of, nation states. In Nigeria, we have 3 different nations, so the political, social, cultural is very dynamically different.
Right.
If you go to Sierra Leone or if you go to Cameroon, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, these things play different parts. And, like even in France, French colonies are a bit different with their relationship with France than English colonies, past English colonies. We have a different relationship. The French tend to be still, so these influences, they matters a lot on how the consciousness is, is navigated, because some of this consciousness can be controlled, it depends on, the national state. So it's a big question to answer kind of in a simplistic.
So tell me, do you think that with all the technological advancements that have happened in the West and that are now opening up Africa, for example, when we back in 2006, when we were out there in Calgary, you couldn't really do a video call, or it was a little bit more difficult. But nowadays, you can call people by video. There is a lot of how has all this technological advancement, as you see it, changed the dynamics of the younger generation now coming up in terms of the way they engage with politics, the way they engage with the economy, the way they engage with social issues?
It's definitely giving us more voice than before, right? Because before, the way we speak out in Africa in general, mostly, I think this is quite, universal in Africa. It's homogeneous in the sense that usually newspapers will say certain things, and usually the government trying to control the news. Today is different, it's very different on how people can just go and tweet, people can just post stuff on social media and they go viral, and it changes the dynamic of everything. We can look at Tunisia, for example, Arab Spring, what started for Arab Spring, it's just something like that, with social media. So, and is a threat to current power status. It's also, there's a lot of good and bad that may come out from it. Maybe not good and bad is the word, because I'm very careful about using good and bad, because all these things are very subjective,
Right.
So, like, if you once again, if you look at Tunisia, you see, he made some changes, but we have to understand drastic changes not always most profitable or more beneficial, because Libya is not best today than when Gaddafi was in power. Iraq is not best today than when Saddam Hussein was in power. Sure, he's a dictator. Sure, he was tormenting some people, but the level of degradation in this country today is unfathomable. So, and these are, look at Syria as an example as well. And what we fail to understand, that we need power to be able to control, the policy, and the political environment. We need power, and sometimes it might not work in your favor. But
Exactly.
Ultimately, the little you get might be best than when you have a chaotic situation going on, like in Iraq and all these kind of places. So it should be a lesson to learn.
Right.
When we kind of just change power dynamic because we're so dissatisfied. They say Rome is not built in one day, so we need to be patient. We need to be a lot more patient.
So there's a lot, we this, and we've discussed this, there's a lot that we can talk about, and that's why we're going to be having you back on the show. As we build following, we're going to be talking about a lot of different issues, but I wanted to ask you this. How do you think we Black folks can support each other to be better?
And I think I don't really see it just as Black folks, because it plays into that race dynamic,
So talk to me about the race dynamics that you contemplate. That's why I asked the question
I feel
that
like
way.
Okay, this is how I look at it. Often we can say, how do Black people help you? I hear my friends say, support a brother, but I like to hold my Black people to a higher standard too, because if I have to do a business as a Black man and do with somebody that's not as qualified because he's Black, than do with somebody that's qualified regardless of the background, I'll be a more successful Black man doing it with somebody that's more qualified.
Right.
Than just doing it with a Black person just because he's Black.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a right decision. That's not a leadership decision to make. You see what I'm saying? And for me, making those decisions, I think what we need to learn, we have to understand the social situation that we find ourselves into. The more we can actually metastasize and integrate, I think the more power we can have.
So you support more integration into whatever society you find yourself.
Well, let's be honest with ourselves, man. You have no other choice. Let me just say, right. You have no choice. Okay, you live in here, you're speaking English. That's not even your first language. Why don't you integrate fully? Integrate fully, understand the system, understand the legal system. A lot of immigrants have to help them secure what is their own right because they don't know. You know, some people believe I have to go back home and marry. It doesn't work out. I'm not saying like if you fall in love with a black woman, but you should do that. At the end of the day, your son that's half black, half white, have more chances of being a Canadian prime minister than your son that's fully black. I'm not saying that will not happen. But if you fall in love with a black person, a white person, yellow person that you know you guys have a good match, you guys have good kid raised, you know, I don't see why. And I think every black person should be in that, you know, because if we individually grow, together we'll be stronger as well. Like even have a black woman in diaspora. Think about the Jews, for example. What do you think makes it so powerful? Integration. Understanding the system where they live. There's a saying where I'm from, say that Ebonye become awashi. In my language, you say Ebonye become awashi. It means that where you live is where you settle.
Right.
This idea we live here, we're thinking, trust me, I've shipped so much container in Nigeria, I make so much business in Nigeria to, you know, like it doesn't work that way because you don't have oversight over there. And people you're sending it to is either you don't trust them, even if you trust them, they're incompetent in the business and you lose money. And what does that make me better? A better black man that have no money?
Right.
Because I want to do business with a black person. I don't look at things that way.
Yeah. No, that's a very interesting perspective, and I agree. But let me ask you this now. Tell us, are you a spiritual person or are you religious?
I'm not religious. I was born into religion, and spiritual depends on how you define it. Like I have my conversation with God, the way I believe it. Usually, I don't really like to, you know, including people's privacy of religion on their spirituality, but I guess I'm spiritual because, you know, my mind do work a lot. You know, I think morals sometimes. You know, I think about God. You know, I have my questions. You know, those moments are also very religious for me. I believe in certain way of treating people. You know, like, you know, I believe in some kind of maybe karma. You know, those are spiritual for me. You know, that right. What you give out is what you receive by, you know, extension. And which is very consistent with a lot of scriptures, you know, from Bhagavad Gita to Bible, you know, Quran and all that kind of stuff, you know. So in that sense, I don't really imbibe with franchise religion. You know, I like to call it franchise religion because, you know, then again, I've done so much research into Catholicism, you know, the level of crimes that were committed through the Spanish Inquisition, you know, the biggest war in the world fought by religion. You know, I understand there's political power there and there's also religious power. There's charismatic power. And, you know, this thing tends to sway certain people that are not very well informed about religion and, you know, God. So I think that the relationship with God has a lot to do with personal relationship, with how I feel. And I will not tell even to today, I still can't answer my kids that this God looks a certain way. But I believe that if they ask me, I say, well, hey, keep growing. Maybe you find out before I do. Give me that leverage to explore. Or maybe you find out something I don't know, but I will tell them this is how I was told that God exists. Right. This is how I have my connection. This is how I have my connection and believe in God. You find out how you believe, but don't take it from people. Ask questions, right? Yeah, you know. So that's kind of you know how my belief in God is very personal.
So is there do you find a connection between spirituality and like say fitness and lifestyle? Have you made any connection between those two, or is there any connection that you can think of?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I can make that connection because you know, if you take care of your body and your mind, you know, like you are God. You know, I say that you are God.
Well, the Bible tells us that we are gods.
For ye are gods, right?
Yes.
For ye are gods, right?
Right.
And I believe in the sense that, you know, I'll tell my mom say, my mom just recently hurt her legs a little bit and she's like, oh, devil was plotting. I said, Mom, devil did not plot anything. that step was actually short. If that step was taken care of, you wouldn't fall. That was not devil's, you know what I mean? Because in Africa, I think the religion set us back in a lot of ways. You know, you're hungry, you go pray. No, if you're hungry, you go find food.
You go do some work, or you,
yeah,
you,
go
you
do
go,
something.
you go to the farm, you go to the bush.
Yeah, or steal it. Whatever you have to do it. But go find food. To deal with the situation of hunger, you have to find food. Whether you stole it or you farm it or you, I don't care what you want to do. But find food, because praying will not give you food. If you're sick, go consult a professional. Find out what's going on with you. You know, if you're fat, eat better. You get better. You know, don't pray about losing fat. It doesn't work that way. You know, that's no connection. But when you take care of your mind and your body, you know, like, you know, and, you know, like, especially in the fitness, for me personally, I love helping people. And, you know, like, for me, it's kind of, sometimes we have to go a lot deeper. You know, when I coach my clients, I'm a big fan of personal development, finding the inner self, right? And when you believe you can do anything, it's almost like God creating the world, right? In your own world, you can create everything you want to create.
So let me, dear viewers, thank you for joining, sharing our videos. I'm here. My guest is Mr. Ugo Okeke. He is a warrior in mind, body, and spirit. I'm sure if you've been listening, you can tell that for yourself. There is a lot we can talk about, but we are going to be wrapping up the show very soon. As you know, we want to keep these conversations short and tight so that you can digest it. But as I have said, we will bring Mr. Okeke back again on the show for a more substantive discussion about his perspectives on so many other topics and some of the hot topics of the day. But before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you just this. We spent quite some time out in Calgary. Can you, and we talked about the street earlier, you know, we spent some time hustling on the streets, trying to make ends meet, you know, trying to build ourselves. And these experiences, if we look at where we are today, myself, yourself, you know, and we look back to those days, you know, we see that, yes, a lot of those experiences have helped us in the way that we have grown, and even just from this discussion, in the way that our mentality is resilient and strong. So could you tell our viewers, or could you share with our viewers, you know, some of these challenges or some of this experience or one of these experiences that you had?
Man, you know, I think the street is, I said to myself, if I have to relive my life, I'll probably do the same thing over again. I think a lot of, given that I grew up in the background of a lot of discipline, that also helped me in the street. I was very disciplined when I'm very careful about people I hang out with. I literally hang out with the same people for the most part. And man, I learned a lot of life lessons. I think that's what I learned. Like, it's almost like my father. The street was like a dad to me, you know, because I didn't really know much about people. Like, you know, the street is real. This is not about the dreams, the nightmares that people are having. You feel me? Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's as real as it gets. You know, you get your prizes right away, or you pay your prices right away. If you cross somebody, you better learn how to talk it out, or you're gonna pay, right? So it teaches you to take your responsibility. One thing I learned, I can tell you, if I can sum it up, you are responsible for what happens in your life.
Very well said.
You can invest, you can say, oh, I gave this guy 50,000 and XYZ happened. It's your bad judgment. For the most part, we know that. If you don't have leverage for collecting that money, you're not getting that money back. You can go kill the guy, but it doesn't matter, you're going to jail too. So you learn your lesson quickly that, you know, you get smart, when we grew up, it was different, you know, like it's all a psychological play in the street, you know, like when you talk to people, you can read them, you can read their moves, you're the police, you know all the laws, you know everything, you know where to step in and where not to, you know. So I think the exposure is actually impressive. I like to take my daughters sometimes and show them some things, you know, tell me, you know, there's some people that live like this. There's people like this in the world. So, you know, so the knowledge about these kind of things are balanced, you know. Yeah, but, you know, like I think, you know, like I said, all your failures and all your challenges are what makes you, place you where you are. Some people didn't make it out there. We made it. We end up in school, you know, with degrees, 2 degrees, and, you know,
right.
You know, learn the lessons that we learn from there. And often we end up there because we don't have a male guardian that can guide us. So, you know, to steer us properly, say, okay, this is what you need to do. And often you go with people that show you love. That's always how we end up there. The people that, you know, show you love, that brotherly love, you don't have a lot of brothers, or, you know, like, they look out for you. Some of these guys, they take you to eat, they don't ask you the money back, you know. You have, before you know it, you know, you fall in love with this guy and you're in the car, something happens, you know, and you follow it.
So what advice would you give anybody who's out there now operating at that level and thinking that there might be something better for them or looking at the future? What advice would you give them?
What I can say is that you will never be a drug dealer living in the mansion in anywhere in the city. Okay? I'm telling you that right now. They're going to find you and they're going to take it all. You feel me? So whatever you're doing, you know, I don't know how you end up there, you know, because you know what I mean. I'm not gonna judge because I'm no God, but you gotta find a way to straighten your act, you know, to fit in the society of men that, you know, like, you know, civilize yourself to some degree, right? And it's not often easy. It's easier said than done for us. It's a bit easier because we have a strong background, like an academic background before all these kind of things happen, right? But like I said, you're never going to be, trust me, driving Maserati, living in a mansion and doing all kind of illegalities, he's going to catch up to you. It's a matter of time, man. Believe me. Yeah, you know, so if you have made it that far, you know, maybe go, you know, take your time, go back to school, find your passion. There's got to be a lot of things, you know, like teach yourself, you know, use the knowledge you gain from the hard life. And, you know, if you put it in a positive world, man, trust me, man, like, you can be a psychologist for a lot of people today. I'm telling you, because it's crazy. The generation is crazy, man. Everybody worried about nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
everybody worries about
no
nothing.
Worries, man. We got no worries, bro. These people worried about nothing. These people worried about how people looking at them. When we growing up, look at me, I'm like, what? Now people worried about somebody that don't like their picture on Instagram. Excuse me. I'm telling you, man. Sometimes I feel like people need to go up in the street. You know, they would be more appreciative of life. I'm a fact. You know, if there was a pilot project who can sneak people in for a couple of months and take them back out safely, we may have to do that, because then they will realize when they come back, they'll be grateful in their life, man. They'll be grateful with their body, no matter how, you know, they think is not, you know. Yeah, you know that you only get what you put effort in. Even in the street, everybody don't make it out there. It's the hardest workers. It's people that are more disciplined. When I was there, we never hang out with women like that. We don't even have no girlfriend, because we always see women as like distraction and weaknesses for us, right? Not true, but that's how we thought back then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not that women are weakness, but like, you know, just, you know, it's too much comfort come with women. You feel me? And so, you know, we're scared of that. And we're always afraid of the comfort. You know, comfort always takes you off your game. You know, being strong.
You can't get too comfortable.
Yeah, because you know, in the street, like if your best friend, everybody's strategy. You know, everybody's strategist. You know, everybody working against. You know, before you know, you're left behind. They won't call you because you're hanging out with your girlfriend. You're missing out on what's going on, right? So, you know, like nobody have to tell you that. Yeah, one of my best friends told me one time, I would keep waiting for him to pick me up. I got mad. He's like, I'm coming 5 minutes. I'm like, it's been 30 minutes. Like, but you sitting at home. It's you sitting at home. It dawned in my eyes. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I could just get out of the house and leave. If I'm sitting at home waiting for him to pick me up, it's my fault. I'm the one sitting in there.
Right.
Yeah, whether he lied or not, it doesn't matter. I'm sitting at home. That's street for you. Real life. You're sitting at home and you ain't making no money. And he tell you he's gonna be back 5 times and he hasn't been back and you're still sitting at home. You're sitting at home.
Yes.
You can't blame him. You can't blame him. You sitting at home. Do all you want. You can't blame him. He doing something.
Yes, that's very a good point made, which brings me to this point. And this is one of the quotes that I like the most, and it's from one of my favorite guys. I know you didn't pick him when you did your lineup between Trump and Obama, but it's Obama, and he said, you know, our destinies are made by us, you know, not for us. You know, we make our own destinies. So I believe that's what you're saying, that if you're waiting for somebody who's telling you, giving you the runaround, you got to take some action, right? Yeah. You can't just sit and then say, oh, this person lied to me or they did this.
I love Obama though. I just don't like his foreign policy. when he said the red line in Syria, he didn't do nothing.
I knew
I didn't like
Obama.
that. I like Obama. He just that he gave us too much hope. And everybody think hope is gonna happen. He gave us too much hope. And Trump is giving you the reality of life. Do something. Yeah, he's giving you the reality of this is human beings. Who knows that half America still stand with this guy? He tells you it's not monkeys that voted him in. It's half of America. So when you're thinking there's no racial situation going on anymore, think again.
Right.
The people voted him in, and he's in there. And his numbers, his likability never moves an inch. Doesn't matter what he do.
Right.
Right? So it's an eye-opener for us to learn. If we miss that lesson, we're going to make the same mistake in the future. Yeah, maybe we should scrutinize, like vet whoever we're voting for. Make sure that, like he has an amount of character, because if we just vote because we're not going to pay. Yeah, so I like Obama. It's just I have my differences with him.
Very well said, like no other. Well, sir, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show today. And I want to give you an opportunity for you to give one final word to our viewers.
Man, I'll go back to passion, man. Like, it don't matter what you want to do, man. You can do whatever you want to do. Just put, everything is how much time you put into it. Fitness, politics, don't ever tell yourself that this is not important to you, man. For you to survive, you should know as much as that you can know. The more knowledge you have, the better you can, manipulate your way, or you can, strategize things that happen to you. Emotional intelligence is very important. Understanding people you do stuff with, that could save you a lot of stress in life, man, don't get too emotional out there, man. I think, we get too emotional these days, man. I think we get too emotional. We have to understand, try and see people from an objective standpoint, even when you don't agree with them. I think that will, take you a long way in life too. And no matter what you want to, who you want to be, you have to put a lot of time in it. They say about 10,000 hours, for you to get close to mastery, or you have to hire a master for whatever craft you want to. Sometimes we will need, these short goals. We need, what's going to happen in 10 years to happen today. It doesn't, like they say, Rome is not built in one day, and a house without foundation is easily swept up. Because I run into a lot of people in fitness today, and next day they have all these issues because they're using all these kind of things to, but we came from the mud, man. We did it like as raw as it is, and we built up. I never thought in my life I was going to be a fitness coach, but because I put in the time, I'm just well placed to do it. Even if I'm doing other things, I'm still doing real estate. I'll never stop coaching people. I can coach you online. I can simplify fitness, and just like I can simplify politics for you.
Right.
Because I put in my time in there. When I was in school, I was reading Unstoppable. I'm that one of those people that I'm obsessive with what I like. Yeah. Anybody don't like politics, I can teach you politics with basic. I say, look at your color of your clothes is made in China. There's legislations that regulate how much you pay for these clothes, why you're wearing these clothes. XYZ. Now you realize that you bought these clothes, so you political player to some degree. You start paying attention, right?
Right, right.
How much you pay in gas or your taxes, you can't tell me you don't care. At least know what's going on, right? I think, with you, we have so much information nowadays. Another thing too, whatever you're learning and what information you get, look at, authoritative sources. Read more than, just posting memes, and you see memes and you post, ask questions, man. Ask more questions. Follow up with questions before you find out, Truth don't come that easy, trust me. Yeah, every truth is finessed. It's like political. Truth is finessed. You see people just believe in this thing. People tell you, I heard Trump. Once you read it, there's so much sources you can access today. Go to think tanks. Read conservative think tanks, liberal think tanks, read anarchy think tanks. See how different people think. Maybe don't come to conclusion, but have an idea why they're talking this way and why these people are talking this way, right? Yeah, so, I think that's all I have to really have to say. I think when a generation will have information overload, that being said, we should be careful about what we absorb, because, even people with a lot of intellectual caliber, they end up believing in some hearsay, and, it's actually very pathetic, but you know, I think we'll make it. You know, I would say our challenges, our failures is always going to be our success. You just have to, you know, you have to go through it. It doesn't get easier. You just have to get stronger.
Our challenges and failures are also going to be stepping stones to our success. Absolutely. That is very well said. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell our viewers how they can get to you if they are interested in getting to work on fitness. As you said, you can coach online. You have actually your fitness facilities, UGBFIT.
Yeah, UGBFIT.
UGBFIT Wellness, Fitness and Wellness.
Yeah, UGBFIT. You know, check me on Instagram, UGBFIT. You know, Snapchat, UGBFIT. You know, go to Facebook, UGBFIT, or you can use my name, Ugo Okeke. You find me. Google me online. Just put my name up on Google and I'll come up.
Right. And Ugo can provide you with any coaching services that you need. Thank you very much, sir. We have now come to the end of the show. I will have you on again on another time as we have discussed. I very much appreciate you coming. That concludes our show. Thanks to all for dropping by and watching and listening to our show. We thank you for the comments, for the likes, for the sharing. And we ask that you continue to encourage other people to join our show. This is going to be a platform for a lot of frank, honest conversation as you've seen us have here today. Please tune in next Saturday for our next guest who's going to be appearing live on the show. We have a very special guest right out of Nova Scotia. He's going to be on the show next Saturday, and we're going to be talking about a lot of social, critical, hot button issues, and also exploring the immigrant experience. Thank you all, fellow viewers, ladies and gentlemen, and have a good night. Thank you, Mr. Ugo.
Thank you, Mark. Have a good day.
Yes.